Hello and welcome back. My name is Christina and get ready for our next class. So stepping to the top of your mat, bring your toes to touch. We're going to vinyasa down to the floor. So inhale, reach your hands up, palms touch. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift, step or float into Chaturanga Dandasana. And then go into upward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And look forward. We're working on trying to float through into a seated position, or you just walk forward in seated position. But I will demonstrate how you can go into a floated seated position. Bend your knees. You look forward, and then slowly bring your feet through. And we're going to go into Paschimottanasana. So bring the flesh out of your sit bones, lengthen your spine. This is called staff pose, flexing your toes back. And then exhale, grabbing your big toes with your peace sign fingers. You can have your knees bent, and then you're working on trying to straighten them. You can also have your hands just at your thighs or at your shins. And then bow forward. Elbows are out to the side. Trying to take the roundness out of the back so you can actually squeeze the shoulder blades back. And that's 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, halfway lift. And then wrapping the hands on top of the feet so fingertips are facing down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. For 5. For 4. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, halfway. This time your thumbs go right underneath the big toe bone. And then your hands wrap around the outside. So you're pushing your big toes forward, your pinky toes are going back. And then fold forward for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, halfway. This time you're wrapping your hands around the outside of your feet. Now at any time you have any variation for this. So wrapping your hands around, or maybe just grabbing your hands here. And hold here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, halfway. Release here, and then we're working on doing the jump backs. So bringing your hands right beside your hips, you're going to reach your legs up, cross the ankles, squeeze the legs in, and if you can't do the jump back, bring your hands down, lift the hiney off, bring your hands forward, maybe jump back, high plank to low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, exhale, downward facing. Looking between your hands, working on trying to jump through into a seated position. And then we're going to bring your toes forward, fingertips face towards the toes, and you guys try to rotate the knees are going in, squeezing the feet together. Lift the hips up, press down into the hands. Eventually the whole fold of the foot goes down. And then you look up, and then maybe taking the gaze back, pushing the hips up for 3, for 2, and 1. Drop the hips, cross the ankles, squeeze the knees in, bring the hands forward, maybe lift it up, and then jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog, inhale, downward facing dog, exhale. Look between your hands, jumping through, or just crawling through into seated. Next one we're going to do, grabbing the flesh out of your left sit bone, taking your right foot and give it a squeeze in. Maybe just falls down between the thigh, maybe it goes into half lotus. And this is fine, you can just stay here. For a little bit more, you wrap your right hand behind you, clasping the big toe. Inhale, look up, exhale, left hand grabs the outside of the foot, and you're bringing your torso down. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up, releasing, cross the ankles, squeeze the knees in, Bring the hands forward, Lift it up, and then jump back. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Look forward, and then walk or float through to seated. Same thing on the left side. Grab the ankle, maybe just plants there. Maybe goes into half lotus, which would be the left sole of the foot plants easily into the right hip. Maybe you want to go more, left hand wraps around, squaring the shoulders off, and then right hand grabs the foot and fold forward. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up. Release it. Cross the ankles. Squeeze the knees in. Lift it up, engage the low belly, and then jump back. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Look between your hands, jump through to seated, and then this time we're going to bring the right, bend the right leg, and take the calf muscle out of there so you can square the hips. And this might mean that your knees might be spread apart more. Trying to get it all in one line. Eventually you're trying to get your knees in one straight line. And then inhale, exhale, grabbing the foot. Or same thing, hands can go to your thigh or your shin. And then fold forward. For those of you who are more flexible, you can wrap the left hand around and clasp the right wrist. And then fold forward. That's already 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up. Release. Same thing. Cross the ankles. Squeeze the knees in. Lift it up. And then jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look between the hands. Float or crawl through. Switching sides. Left calf muscle out. Square the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Grab the foot. For 5. For 4. 3. 2. And 1. Inhale. Lift up. Release. Cross the ankles. Squeeze the knees in. Lift it up. And then we take it back. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Look between your hands. Crawl. Jump through. Janushirasana on the right side. So you're going to bring your right sole of the foot into the left thigh. Take the flesh out of your hips. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, wrap your hands around the left foot or wherever the hands land. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cross the ankles. Take it up. And then jump it back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Switching sides. Janushirasana on the left side. Left sole of the foot in. Square the hips. Grab the right foot. Lengthen and then fold forward. For 5. For 4. For 3. 2. Last deep breath in. Exhale, coming up. Cross the ankles. Squeeze the knees in. Engage the low belly. And then lift it up. Jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Look between your hands. Jump or float through. And then we're going to go into Janushirasana B. So you're bringing the heel underneath your perineum muscle. Toe is facing towards your left big toe. Square the hips. Grab the left foot and then fold forward. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up. Cross the ankles, squeeze the knees in. Take it up, and then jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Jump through. Switching sides. Left heel goes to the perineum muscle. Square the chest off, and then fold forward. Your left big toe should be pointing directly to your right big toe. And that's 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up. Exhale here. Cross the ankles. Squeeze it in. Lift it up. And then drop back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Float through. And then we're going to go into Janu Sirsasana C, which is you bring take your right hand underneath your right calf, grab the inside of your right foot, and this might be fine. Eventually, you're trying to rotate the toes down, heel up. This is taking lots of practice, so never, if you feel this too much in your knee, do not go any further than what you are right now. If you want to go more, the heel starts to rotate forward, grabbing the left foot with both hands, and then fold forward. And that's already 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up, and then release it. Cross the ankles, take it back. Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Look between the hands, jump through, switching sides. So left hand goes underneath the calf muscle, grab the inside of your left foot, rotate the foot down, maybe shift forward as your left knee drops. Grab the right foot with both hands and fold. For 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up. Release. Cross the ankles. Squeeze it in. Lift it up. And then Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look between your hands. Jump through. Seated pose. Thank you for this wonderful class. And I will see you next time for our next class.